scrapbooking friends, and thank you for joining me for another process video. So today I'm working on a layout documenting a couple of the sculptures which were part of the Light the South sculpture trail in Southampton and here on the Isle of Wight just recently. So this one is going to be about a couple of lighthouses that actually really stood out, like really striking lighthouses. Not necessarily like my favourite ones, but they were just so striking that I had to document them separately. I'm also doing this layout as part of Scraptember, so this is going to be for day 13 mixed media. I'm a little bit late with it, but yeah, day 13 mixed media. So what I've done here is I've got two sheets of white textured cardstock. I've used one as the frame, and then the other one I have added my mixed media to. So I've already done it because it's quite messy and I was practicing, and then I quite liked how it came out, so I didn't need to do another one. All I've done here is just added texture paste to the page, just like this, with my spatula. Is that what it's called? Spatula. And I just used the ordinary white texture paste that I always use. And then what I did, I sprayed over that with this Dilutions ink in. It's ink spray. It's very old. I've had it for like, I think it might even be like 14 years old or 13 or 14 years old. It's just like a chocolate colour. I've first of all I sprayed it on the page, and then I splattered it as well. So I did the texture paste. I didn't colour the texture paste. Oh, or did I? Maybe I did colour the texture paste. I can't actually remember now. I did it a little while ago. I might have coloured the texture paste. And the texture paste, as you can see, has come out in more of like a deep red colour rather than brown, which I really like because it just happens to match this embellishment here. I don't know if you can see it, but the colour of this lighthouse embellishment, which is just amazing. So yeah, when it first started to dry, I thought, oh, it's not brown. I really wanted it to be brown, but I really liked the way it came out. And then with the spray in brown and the splatter in brown, I just think the effect of those together is really good. So this lighthouse was covered in coins, like completely covered in coins. Even the little light at the top was covered in coins, different colour. So all the lighthouse, the base of the lighthouses are all the same. So they're all like a bare metal they've all got this window here, and they've all got this little door at the bottom. But anything else that is on the lighthouse has been created by the artist. So that any texture has been created by the artist. So the texture here by adding the buttons, and this texture created here has all been added by the artist. So, calling this layout Copper and Stone. Now, Stephanie and I had a little bit of fun with this one because we really thought it looked like metal. But when we got closer, it was, or it is called, what's it called? It's called Lighthouse Rock. So it's meant to be like a rock. But we really thought it was metal. It's supposed to be like metal. But anyway, it's a rock, and I think the idea is about healing, because the trail is in aid of the Southampton Hospitals Trust, and I think the idea behind this layout with all the scarring and everything is about healing. I did read that on the app. All the lighthouses have a story. The artist who created them tells a story as to why they created it and what their idea is. So I've mounted this onto Kraft card, 4x6 portrait photos mounted onto Kraft cardstock, and I've inked the edges. And I'm just going to pop them there, and I think you can see my title here. So I have managed to get another title out of that American Crafts Wisecrack alphabet set that I've had for many years, and I think it's dated 2012. Not sure I got it in 2012, but it's dated 2012. So it's a very old one, and at the time I got quite a few sets, so like maybe half a dozen, because I think they're on offer somewhere. I got them like really cheap, and it's, oh, that was not very clever, was it? Fortunately, it is a selfie printed photo, so I can get rid of any mess. I think I got them. I got a deal on them somewhere, and I got loads of them, and it has actually been one of my all-time favourite alphas. I've used it many times, and any time I can get another title out of it makes me very happy, and that is today. Now the only problem I'm going to have maybe is adding the title toward the texture. I hadn't thought that one through properly, because I want to put the titles here of each lighthouse, plus I've written a bit of journaling here, and I need to add that underneath. So yeah, I need to think about that really. I've already added foam to all these pieces of craft cardstock. I wanted it all to be raised on the page, with it being mixed media. And just the actual, you know, the idea of the layout is all this rustic and layering and textures and everything. So I think that's fine. I like that. Just wondering about whether I need to think about where the centre of the page is. I normally do that, but I think with this one I want to do that, just because there is so much texture on here. I think I want it to be the centre, to be where the photos meet. Have some sort of, you know, alignment, with everything else being so, you know, not aligned. Right, now I'm going to add the tie to this one. And this one. Not the, well, it's not the title of the page, but it's the title or the name of the sculpture. Make sure we get those the right way. A little bit of glue on that one there. And then I want to do the same with this little bit of journaling. I think what I might also do is add, just at the bottom here in a pen, I'll probably just write on there that it was the South Trail. And the month and the year. There. I did that writing in black on there because I just wasn't sure how much it'd stand out in the brown. And there is a little bit of dark on here, so I think that's looks okay. Now then, my other idea is I've got my card candy here. I've already mounted it onto little foam pads. Of course, I've got my title, which I am going to have to glue down because these stickers do not stick at all. And I've got some little birdies and that lighthouse that I wanted to try and add to the page. Pop that there for now because I want the ampersand to be right in the centre. Got these little birdies here that I wanted to try and add. Just kind of depends really on how the title sits. What I did do with this title is I cut down at 8 for the 3. I had all the letters and I didn't have any E's left or any 3's left. So because I'd found all the other letters, I was desperate to use it. So I did cut down at 8, which I don't really like to do for titles. It's just not the thing that I like to do. But on this occasion, yeah, I really wanted to use this title, these alphas, just because of the texture and the colour, the metallic. You know, they just fit perfectly with this layout. And I know the different colouring to the lighthouses and everything else, but that's good. That's fine for me. I like that because it adds sort of more interest to the page. So, I'm not sure now about these little birdies, how I could make it work. I'll have to think about that. Definitely want to add the lighthouse though. I've already added staples to each corner of this page because for extra texture, because it's just not enough already. And I've got this layered sticker here that's also got a lighthouse in that colour. So I think I might pop that down here. I don't think that's, well, I'm not going to trust it to stick. I mean, it is sticky, sticker's sticky, but obviously you can't expect a sticker to stick properly on all this texture, I don't think. So we'll add that one just there. This one I need to raise because that's raised, so I'll just get some of my foam. I've added the foam to that. I'm going to pop that, it's not dry, so I'm just going to pop that there for now, so I can see how that looks. I don't think I'll glue these down on camera, or will I? I'll have a go. So I've got a few more. These die cuts are from the Simple Stories Vintage Seas collection that I'm trying to use, as are the Lighthouse die cut pieces. Trying to get these as close together as I can. So just because I don't want them to extend over the edge of the photo really. I was hoping to have a little bit of room for the birdies, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. Try and find a place for them somewhere on the layout though. And copper is obviously a longer word than stone, but so I could have, you know, I could have pushed that over a little bit more, or I should push that over a little bit more, just because I want it all to fit on the one page, in the you know, in this section here. But I don't want it to look as though it's too squidged up. I need there to be a little gap between the R and the ampersand. So we'll do the R first. So yeah, straight away I knew I was going to scrapbook these two sculptures, even though they're not in my top 10 of favourites, only because I've gone with the bright and bold. Bright colours and bold colours. I mean, these are bold, obviously. They're not bright colours, but looking at them now, I mean, they are pretty amazing. They should really be in my top 10. But you know, there's 40 of them. You can't choose all of them as your favourite, and I'm sure there'll be many people out there who choose these ones as their favourite. They're being auctioned off this week, I believe it is. The boat shows, they're over at the, I've mentioned this already, they're over at the International Boat Show now and ready to be auctioned off for the charity. And as I'm doing this layout a tad late, that's I mean, I'm not doing it after they've been auctioned off, I'm doing it before, even though it's a day late for the prompt. The boat show is actually on in real time whilst I'm recording this, so yeah, they are there. And yeah, it's exciting. I wish I could buy one, but they're, you know, they're going to be very expensive. I'm just going to add a bit more glue to that one. I'm hoping to see them though. I mentioned that in my other video. Hoping to go and see them this week, so I'm going over to Southampton to see Aladdin at the theatre. Hold those down. There is excess glue here, but that will dry. You won't see that once it's dry. And also, obviously, it's a very textured page, so anything that adds to that is fine. Try not to fiddle with them, because once they're down, I want the glue to adhere, and sometimes if you touch them, they come up again. Right, where are we? Glued everything down, haven't I? I just need to glue this down. Still drying, but I'm going to glue it down. Top, there's no foam on the top section because it's just too fiddly. So I'm hoping that will be fine, just, you know, as it is. I mean, I could add a tiny little dot to that. I may do that later, add a tiny little dot underneath it, just to give it a little bit, just to secure it a little bit better so it doesn't get bent. Now then, my other idea is to add card candy in some of the, you know, some of the kind of sections of the texture where I think one would look nice, like in the recesses, I suppose. Like these bits here. I've prepared them already, of course, as you'd expect, and I'm not going to like look at the layout as a whole when I'm doing this, you know, looking at it to see, oh, does that look right or not. I am just going for it with these, and hopefully I've got enough for what I'm planning on doing. Just going to pop them where I think they look good. Not worrying about whether they line up with the others in a straight line or not. And this one here, I did get it. It stuck to my craft mat, turned over and stuck to my craft mat, and a little bit of it tore off. But I'm taking that as, you know, more texture. You can probably see it right there on my craft mat, the bit that stuck to it. I'd have to try and get rid of that later. So yeah, I thought, oh good, more texture. Now then, do I need one up here? I think I do. Is that it? Is that all I've got left? It is, isn't it? Now I'm feeling there's a gap there and one needs to go there. I'll have to see if I can get some more out. Now then, the only thing left is these little birdies. I really, really wanted to add them. I don't know why, I just do. So I suppose it's because I've got them. And because, you know, you get birdies flying around in the park and everything. Maybe not in the shopping centre, but they sit on the roof of the shopping centre probably. I know. I could put that one there. I'm thinking of filling my corners now because I'm looking at these two and this one, but then I don't know. Would that be a filled corner? I wish that was a bit over now. Does that look right? I'm going to add a bit of foam to this one. Just a tiny bit. Just so I can position it around the card candy, or even touching. I don't mind if it touches it. I'm going to put that one there. I like it there. I think there is a texture prompt as well for there is a texture prompt for this Scraptember, and I really, really, really should have saved this one for that, but it's not. I think it's the very last one at the end of the month. And I really wanted to do this layout, so I'm doing it as mixed media. And I probably, well, I can't think of a texture one that I would do, but there may be one. I'm not doing all the prompts, I'm just doing, you know, some of them. Obviously, I'm not doing things like fussy cutting. Didn't do the sticker one. There's one or two that I haven't done, so didn't do stickers. Can't quite read that. What does it say? Let's have a look. Fussy cutting, yeah. Fussy cutting, school. I haven't done those. No people I'm doing. New supply, I'm not sure because I haven't really got any new supplies. Although I have now because I just ordered the Chamel. I've just received the Chamel paper, so I could do that as new supply. So I will circle that. Horizontal I've not decided on. There's florals I've crossed out. Holiday I've crossed out. 6x6 paper pad I've crossed out. Family, only because I didn't have any, I don't think I've got any layouts to do for that. Any photos to scrapbook for that. Diagonal stars I've circled. So there's quite a few that I probably will do. But, you know, I'm not doing it in time for each day. Well, I haven't done so far. Now then. I think I quite like that. I'm going to do the writing. Oh, I was going to do the writing, wasn't I, down here? I was just going to say about light the south. I wonder if I can do that now. I've put too many things in the way. I don't think you'll be able to read it. I might have to... I might have to. Could do it in white, but I don't think that really goes with the layout, even though it's framed in white. Not sure. I'm going to think about that. He looks a bit tipsy, doesn't he, that bird? He looks a bit tipsy. I think that's okay. I do like it with my sort of filled corners. This one's a little bit in from the corner. But yeah, this, apart from me trying to add something about the trail, or what I could do is create another, cut down another piece of Kraft cardstock and just do that. Actually, let me do that now. Just trim down another bit of Kraft cardstock, which conveniently is on my desk. Light. Just going to say light the South Trail 2024 because I think it's pretty obvious it's lighthouses, and in the future I don't think it'll matter if I put the month. Just going to see what that looks like. I could do it again and longer if I feel as though it can fit in the space, but if not, I'm just going to leave it as it is. Yeah, I think that fits well. Cut down some foam. And then I think this layout will be finished. It needs to be very thin, thinner than you think, to put behind a piece, because it looks as though you would need a thicker piece than this, but it does seem to show if it's too thick, wide. Right, I think that's okay. Add the glue to that. Then I think I'm almost sure that there's nothing else to add to this layout. I might let that dry a little bit before gluing it to the actual page, but I'll pop it there now so we can see what it looks like. There. Yep. Okay, so white textured cardstock as a mount, a frame to the layout. And then I've added my mixed media, my texture, to another piece of white texture cardstock, which I've cut down slightly, 1/2 inch on 2 sides. American Crafts thickers, glitter. Got some die cuts from the Simple Stories Vintage Seas. I've used my card candy raised on foam. I've used Kraft cardstock to mount the photos, and I've inked the edges of the Kraft cardstock. So yeah, I'm going to call this layout done. I still think this bird looks a little bit tipsy. I'm hoping that it looks okay when I look at the page like from above. So I quite often find that looking at a page from like this angle when I'm working on it is very different to looking at it from above like you are. And sometimes when I look at layouts from above, I do see them quite differently, and I do sometimes change things. Or I think if I'm looking at it this way and I don't think it looks looks right, and then I look at it from above and I think it does. So yeah, it does definitely change the perspective of the layout, which angle you look at it. So I'm going to pop the glue on here, and then I am going to call this layout finished. Don't need to date stamp because I've added the date already in my journal in here, my little little small bit amount of journaling. Right, that's having trouble sticking. May put a weight on it. What I'm going to do is put a weight on it, let it dry, take the photo, then we're done. So pop it down. Oops, wrong way. Once again, thank you for joining me. Stay safe, take care, and I shall see you next time.